I want to tell you a story about the early days of Netflix. Now, about a decade ago, Netflix was still making the transition from being primarily DVDs to being a streaming service. This was back when the DVD queue was a big part of things. Netflix was making a lot of very smart moves and changes, including setting up their product innovation group. And that was the group I worked with. A longtime colleague of mine who had come from Yahoo, Michael Spiegelman, brought me in to help deal with some really tough problems that the team was having. Now, this was a crack team who was very, very good at measuring the analytics of the customer experience. And what we all saw was there was a sharp drop off after 2 months of subscription. So we decided to see what we could do to push over that point. And the team had tried a lot of local issues, trying this growth hack and this tweak to the UX. And what they realized and how they expressed it to me was that they were really caught up in local maxima, which is a idea from statistics that really talks about, and this was their situation. You've optimized where you can in your design. If you're, for instance, measuring a particular page and button clicks on a particular page, you can optimize that page. You can optimize that button. You can optimize for conversion through that page. And that can get you at local maxima where you're very optimized. But the larger issues of why are people dropping off after 2 months, you can't get there with these local methods. You have to pop up and see things from a different point of view. And it's the same in mathematics as it is in product design. So what we did was we applied the techniques of game thinking. We interviewed several different cohorts of superfans, people that were avidly using the service and people that were avid users but had quit. And we discovered a lot of reasons why onboarding wasn't working for them. So the way we tackled this is we built a cross-functional team. It was absolutely imperative that we had people from growth, people from product, people from marketing, people from customer support and customer success, all of that together in a room to talk about the solutions. Because when you're dealing with longer term engagement, when you're dealing with not just getting through quick little things, you really need a cross-functional approach to get around those local maxima. And one of the problems was that recommendations often get confused when there's multiple users. Now, the solution for that turned into what we now have in Netflix that we're familiar with, which is who's watching, IDs. At the time, Netflix didn't have that. So we had to start to come up with how can we solve this? And there's many different ways to do it. Self-selecting IDs and letting those evolve naturally and add them naturally. We had the beginnings of that in this project, and it now grew into this very successful system. Another problem that we ran into was that users didn't understand why certain shows were being recommended. At that time, Netflix was much more dependent on rating systems. It had you rate many, many shows when you got started. Now, Netflix has evolved far beyond that. And there's a lot more algorithmic knowledge and smarts under the hood. But it's still important for people to understand, why are you showing me this? It builds trust, and trust, as we all know, is a huge part of what makes us keep using a service. So what we did at the time is when you came back to Netflix, when you had watched a show and you revisited it, we asked you to rate it to reveal suggestions. We would then fill in those little slots with suggestions to show you why, in a very clear, immediate way, you were getting suggestions. Now, Netflix has evolved beyond that, but that one technique was a completely new idea that came out of understanding what the issue was people were having. And no big surprise, it wasn't what we thought it was. So today, Netflix has evolved and it looks more like this. And you'll see this thumbs up, thumbs down icon, which has replaced that 5-star rating system. This is something you'll see a lot. YouTube used to have a 5-star rating as well, and they simplified down to thumbs up, thumbs down. This is a common evolution you'll see. in these large scale social systems. But back when Netflix was really struggling through a very tough transition and didn't look nearly as much like the huge winner that it is today, Netflix applied these techniques to get out of a rut they were in, act smarter, and start to do the kind of product innovation that they're now known for. So the lesson here is you can't always solve extended engagement problems with discrete metrics.
Want results like this for your project or your client's projects? Hop on over to gamethinking.io/programs to learn how you can work with us. We can help you get to product market fit in record time and build products that keep your customers coming back again and again. The link is in the description.